Matt, if we move on to the final game, Scotland going for 3 wins out of 3, going to Paris. You've always given them a chance.
I think you've got us, Stu. Well, we can only. I always say you got to give me evidence. And 2 years ago they beat France in Paris, so that was COVID. It was an empty stadium, but they beat England away and France away. That year they lost to Wales at home. Now they beaten England and they got the old monkey off the back. Since 1986 they'd lost every game after they'd beaten England, and they played poorly the first half. But give them credit, they were excellent in the second half. They scored some great tries. Finn Russell was absolutely on fire. Some of his passing and kicking was just sumptuous. He's always had the talent, but sometimes he hasn't had the temperament. And just right now, he seems to be having both in place because he's not overplaying his hand, which would be an accusation a lot of us could make against him when he's playing for Racing. He just forces things, and I think he does it for Scotland as well. He didn't last week. However, so they've got a chance. So we shouldn't come out and say there's no chance. That's not going to happen. That's not right. But France, after losing to Ireland, I can tell you the whole country here is hurting. But the general feeling is what I felt is that in the long run, they'll do them a world of good. Going into the World Cup at home with a bit of a bloody nose means you've got to get a bit, reset things, get a bit angry and go at it again. That you haven't got the World Cup in your hands until you got the World Cup in your hands. So I think it's a really good refocus point. So I would expect a much more powerful, I shouldn't say powerful. Look, France were fantastic against Ireland. The stats that Ireland produced, France should never have been in that game. And Alan knows that they were in that game until the last 5 minutes. Once that second try was scored. And if James Lowe's try had been ruled correctly, they're right in that game. So even though Ireland were the far better team on the day, France were in that. France are going to go home to the Stade de France. They've got 2 weeks to lick their wounds. He's going to pick a full side. I reckon there'll be a couple of changes. Give some guys a go. Tell them to say, you haven't got this jersey forever. You've got it for one game at a time. And I actually think it's going to be a really great game of rugby. A really great game. All three are going to be great games, I think, on the weekend. Because you don't know how Wales are going to come out. England have been quite poor. Just wouldn't it be lovely to see a toe-to-toe contest there of a slugfest? Two of these that detest each other, bashing each other. I'd be great. I'd pay money for that. It'd be really good. And then in Paris, the Scots play beautiful rugby, and with the ball in hand, and so do the French. So I think it's a weekend that's just going to keep giving so much entertainment, and so much fun, and really all sides. Probably the Italians are the least, but all sides have got a shot at winning this, which I think is really. Isn't that healthy for the competition? We haven't been able to say that for the last few years. I think that's really great for the championship.
Yeah, Quinny, last one on France-Scotland. Do you think the French will have learned a lot from that Ireland game and really will be a lot more ruthless against Scotland?
Well, that will be their intention anyway, for sure, because I think they obviously had they were disappointed with what happened in Rome as well. I think Sean Edwards came out and spoke about their discipline and their work rate and their energy and just the overall performance, as did Galtier. And so they were disappointed. They showed, obviously, in that first half was incredible against Ireland. For both sides were brilliant. But Matt is right. They were in that game till Gary Ringrose scores near the end, and Ireland could never sit back and relax at any stage, even though they put a mammoth effort in. And I just thought tactically they got so much right that day, Ireland. But France will learn from that. And I think it's the first time where France kind of drifted away from their strengths of trying to win territory and ping teams back and really go after them in the attack zone. France started, trying to run out of their own half a little bit and, took some chances, made some errors and mistakes, and Ireland punished them. So, even after the Penno try, straight from the kickoff, Ireland win it back and they end up scoring. So there's certain parts of that game that they will be very disappointed in. I don't think there'll be any sort of panic I think, as Matt said, it's no surprise that they'll want a reaction to French public. This is a super French side. They have a couple of players out like Ireland have. They have such an array of talent that they can choose from, and I think it'll do them the world of good in the long run that they've had this little bit of a glitch and a setback. So that could be bad news for Scotland. The flip side of that is Scotland are full of confidence, and they're a dangerous side. And when they get their tails up, if you allow them, and if they get enough quality possession, they can hurt you and they can cause you problems. And that'll be the case not just on Sunday, but when they play Ireland in a few weeks as well. This Scottish side are a good Scottish side. They have a bit of steel about them, and I think they'll be excited about going to Paris. But I do expect France will be much better, and for any team worldwide now at the moment to beat France, even for Ireland to go there. And you asked the question there: is it a different result in Paris if Ireland are playing them? Well, it's harder. Scotland are going to have to bring their A game for 80 minutes to beat this French side on Sunday.